Welcome in everybody to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia with me, of course, is the Welsh. He's back by popular demand or maybe unpopular demand, depending on how you look at it. We're here on our Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's where we are Monday through Friday live. So subscribe and get rid of those stupid commercials. Join us with your Amazon Prime account, and you can always watch us on demand if you like the show so much you want to watch it a second time, or you missed it live. Fantasy Pros MLB. Welsh, this is the most important question of the day. Did you get a good checkup yesterday at the dentist?
Actually kind of was. There's good and bad. Good and bad, nobody really cares.
No.
But
good and bad. What was the bad?
Good and bad because I was there to get a cleaning, and then they did all of the work, and they're like, all right, now let's schedule that cleaning. And I'm like, what are we doing here? But we were pretty good. We were pretty good, better than I thought. Don't like those things, but I'm glad to be back here. Glad I might have possibly been missed, not necessarily for sure missed, like you said, because Joe Rico's so amazing and everything like that. But I'm glad that I am back talking baseball.
Well, I'm glad you're back. We got a lot of baseball to talk about. Joe Rico did a great job yesterday, as he always does, filling in. But I want to talk here first about some great pitching performances. It's very rare I have an evening to myself where I just watch an entire single game. I happened to choose last night.
Oh, wait, let me guess. Hold on. No, hold on. Let me guess.
Go ahead.
Using my skills, you watched a Met game, and
I did.
We'll talk about
that's the hardest thing
pitcher
for me
to start the show. We'll start an entire show talking about.
You mean the best? You mean the best team? The team that's 20 games over 500 right now. Well, maybe the Tigers have a better record. They play the American League.
Tigers.
American League.
But let's talk about David Peterson.
No, let's talk about David Peterson. One of my darlings of the Black Book this year, David Peterson. It was so refreshing to watch, and I watched every pitch. I didn't flip between other games like I would normally. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just watched the single game because I wanted to watch him work. No walk, 6 strikeouts, 6 hits, complete game shutout over the Nationals, right? Handled James Wood all day, as he always does. He handles Ohtani. He handles all. He's the toughest lefty in the lineup. He handles him all the time. It was just fun to watch a guy pitch and not try to blow everybody away with 100-mile-an-hour stuff. The art of pitching is alive with guys like David Peterson. And he threw 32 pitches in the first 3 innings. He was efficient. He attacked the strike zone. He was first pitch strike. I'm just saying, next week he's got 2 starts against the Braves and the Phillies, and I'm confident to throw him out there against the Braves and the Phillies, despite the fact they're good lineups. And I just think it's great to see somebody go out there and pitch, because the art of pitching is a lost art form. It's something that I think, when you look at what's going on in Major League Baseball, the epidemic of injuries in pitchers, it's sad to me. It's frustrating to me as a lover of baseball, as a fantasy player. And although all jokes aside, are you telling me you're not impressed by what Peterson's done this year? The quality starts, the ERA, all that?
I think it's pretty impressive. I was looking at run values on his pitches too. Last year, here's a couple things. So last year, it was pretty much dominantly just that sinker that he throws. That was the plus pitch. That was the thing that was doing stuff for him. This year, 3 of the top 4 pitches have plus run values. It's his sinker, of course, which is always up there. Last year it was a 6. This year it's a 4. But a slider and a changeup. So, in the red, if you're looking at Savant, like if you're seeing red, you're seeing pluses. Like those are plus pitches right now. And his slider and changeup were not there last year. His slider was actually a horrifically bad pitch for him. Batting average is way down. Ks are way up on it, which is getting a lot done here. Strikeouts are up for him. I mean, there's some pretty impressive results. Expected does tell us like he might be around 3.5. The interesting thing, though, and this speaks to both sides, looking over on the Stuff Plus models, he's only a 90 Stuff Plus, and it's actually the worst it's been over the last couple years. His slider is the only pitch that's grading out on those Stuff Plus models as like a league average, and that's lower. But his location plus, so again, these are just pitching models out there. You'll see the stuff, you'll see location, and then pitching plus, which is, you don't even really worry about it necessarily. But his location plus is higher than it's ever been. And so 101. So that is above average on his location. So he is improved. So these are all just little things to show us what you saw is, guess what? His location is better. It's making the pitches better. The slider has gotten better. It's got a better whiff rate, better strikeout rate. And because he is hitting his spots even more, he's finding a lot more efficiency. So jokes aside, I'm not starting a show with David Peterson, but I absolutely think he's not talked about enough. And he does deserve to be in this space that you're talking about, where it's like, you know what? maybe you can throw him out here in 2 starts in tougher matchups because he's been a dog. He's been a dog this year.
Absolute dog. Spencer Schwellenbach was a dog too. Struck out 9, first career complete game for him. Braves beat the Brewers. Don't look now. Okay, so the Braves play the Rockies this weekend. This month they also play the Marlins coming up. I looked at the schedule. I was starting to look ahead. They have home and home series against the Mets and then the Phillies they play. If they handle their business in June and play above board against the Mets and the Phillies, they can get back in this thing because after that, they play the Angels, they play the Athletics, they play the Baltimore Orioles, they play a lot of slapnut teams that they can rack up some wins. They could still make the playoffs here, boys and girls. So I'm not counting the Braves out quite yet, Welsh.
Yeah.
I looked ahead at the schedule and I just talked about it on Craig Mish's show.
Well, and I'll tell you, all jokes aside of busting your balls a little bit on this, like this is where I start for these 2 reasons. Like this is I think the most important because Schwellenbach, moving past it real quick, also that's a complete game. Like he was to start the year, and I've talked about him on our trade shows a couple times as a buy, and he's getting better and better. It's a 3.11 ERA. It is a 3.9 walk percentage, which is absolutely absurd. His Ks are starting to come back up. Everything is looking really good. And getting to what you're saying, like, I agree. Don't look now. Acuna's back. Schwellenbach is rocking. Sale is going. Like, the Braves are somebody that, that division should be worried about. They really should. And there's maybe some interesting bets in there. But also, there were some really fun, good trade opportunities that have been floating out there. And I think Schwellenbach was one of the biggest. And I'm super encouraged to see that he's kind of like found that rhythm again. The strikeouts are still kind of wafting a little bit. He only had 4 strikeouts versus the Giants in his last one, but he now has 9 or more strikeouts, I believe, in 3 of his last 4 starts. So don't look now, but we're back to top 10 Schwelly.
Top 10 Schwelly, the Braves to make the playoffs, plus 245, yes, right now.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Sale's been good. Sale's been great. Schwellenbach coming off a great start. If Strider can get right over the next couple weeks.
Oh, it's so key. Yeah.
It's huge for them. They've got Acuna back now, right? Because they didn't have Acuna for the first, 2 months of the season. Look, I'm not trying to resurrect the Braves here, especially as a Mets fan. It's the last thing I want to do, but I got to keep it real. The Braves are not done yet. June will tell the tale. If they struggle against the Mets in that home and home series, where they go back and forth and they struggle against the Phillies and they're under 500 in that, I think you can kind of cast them away.
If Strider's right, is there a better 3-man rotation you could throw? I only say that because of like the playoffs, but they go Sale, Schwelly, and Strider. Is there a better 3-man rotation someone can throw out? Mariners could throw out a healthy Gilbert.
I was going to say,
Kirby.
if healthy, Yamamoto, Ohtani, and either Glasnow or Snell. Yeah, that's the only one that I think could compete with it.
Okay,
but again, that's so theoretical at this point. That's super theoretical.
Yeah, and I guess I was kind of getting theoretical with the Mariners one too, because Gilbert's not healthy, but he's close. But like they'd have Gilbert, Kirby, and Luis Castillo. That's not as good. Your Dodger one,
who got blown up yesterday, but Brian Woo's.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even put it. I mean, I think they have the best 5-man rotation, but I would probably say that Dodger one maybe beats it. But I guess the point is, so Colt said Cole free to Rodon, but we can't even put Cole in there because he's out for Tommy John. We can play theoretical games,
Cole's
but we got to play theoretical that they're going to actually be here. So Fried and Rodon, Yankees are out of that conversation. So I don't think there's another one out there. And that's why you look at a team like the Braves, because their offense, when it's clicking, they've got that rotation. What do they need? Bullpen. So trade market should be rocking here. Gosh,
another encouraging performance. Jesus Luzardo, big bounce back. I know a lot of people were like, oh, I can't believe I didn't start him. Why can't you? He was god awful for 2 starts in a row when he was facing the Cubs lineup, who's been terrific all year. Great. He struck out 10 guys. Now you can breathe a sigh of relief. After I rage dropped him last week, I picked him back up. All's right with the world. But look, I got to tell you, again, that's shallow league problems. But in real leagues, there was no way you were dropping him. But also, I did not feel good about starting him. And that's fine. Did you feel good about starting him yesterday, Welsh?
Well, I don't think it'd feel good. I'm not like the Cubs team or anything like that, but also I definitely would have never rage dropped Luzardo, but I understand some of the worries. But you know what? Whiffs were back. He had 16 against a Cubs team. That's not exactly the easiest thing to do on the planet. The slider and changeup were both great. He ended up with like a 30% CSW, but he had an over 33% changeup and slider whiff percentage. So fastball setup. The other pitches got the strikeouts. This is what you want from him. I'm pretty encouraged that he was back, and his velo was back up. He's throwing the changeup a little bit harder, but fastball and slider, no loss on velo or anything like that. It's a great sign. He went through it. These guys went through it. Great little buying opportunity, or you can maybe panic a little bit less if you're absolutely freaking out about him.
And maybe he was tipping his pitches, as Rigby was pointing out here. I would also say stick around because we got some really cool splits on some of these pitchers that we're going to talk about today, not just Luzardo. But, Welsh, you were not here yesterday. No. I made a little wager. Some might say a bit of a curse wager, potentially. Jack Leiter had just one more start yesterday to go to forever take away the Nepo baby moniker that I have saddled him with. Just one, Welsh. One more start. That's all he had. And unfortunately, it did not go well.
Oh, did he give up 7? Would he give up 7 runs and go 2 innings? What was the line that killed it?
Jack Leiter allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts in 4 innings. He was terrible. He was awful in this start. 5 hits, 4 runs, and 4 innings with 4 walks. That's dreadful. Get back to the minors, you Nepo baby. That's right. Doc Joe has returned for the 2nd straight day. This is my new favorite bit. I love being Doc Joe. So maybe I cursed him. Maybe I didn't. I guess we'll never know, Welsh. I guess we'll never know. But my other 2 bets hit yesterday, so that's good.
It's good. This is your worst bet. Your Leiter thing is your dark thing is very funny. This is your worst bet on Jack Leiter. Like that 4 earned runs.
Why? Because this was a good start.
It's not a bad. It's not the worst start on the planet. Give up 4 earned runs and walk 4. That's not great. But
walking 4 with 4 earned runs in 4 innings is a good start. What have we become as a society? What have we become? What has become of you? How dare you, good sir? How dare you?
I can't.
Where's my dueling glove?
Jack Leiter stuff. I can't with you. It's your worst take. It's your worst take that that was going to release 5 great starts.
I have found my dueling glove.
I don't have a glove anywhere.
Look at me. Oh. I smack you with my dueling glove. Ugh. Ugh. How dare you?
I wish I could smack you every time the Leiter stuff. Yeah, just here, real quick. 6 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts. 7 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. 5 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. 5 2/3. 0 earned runs, 6 strikeouts.
We had a deal.
5
I'm
1
a man
earned
of my
runs,
word.
6 strikeouts. Those are his 5 last starts, and he has.
Yes,
4.
but he needed 6. I'm a man of my word. We made a wager, good sir. You made a wager. I made a wager. I said 6 good starts in a row, and I will take away the moniker forever. I will never call him that again. Now he's back to 0. So we'll see if he can do 6 again. He's got time.
Plenty of start. 11
Tell me in the chat, was that a good start for Jack Leiter yesterday? Was that a quality start?
I didn't say it was a good start.
There's worse starts out there, of course, but it wasn't good. It was bad, okay? It wasn't the worst because we've seen that from Jesus Luzardo 2 starts in a row. So we've seen what the worst looks like. We've seen Brandon Pfaadt. It wasn't, yes hitter, but it was bad. It wasn't a dumpster fire of beyond belief, but it was bad. Unequivocally bad. And if things aren't going your way and maybe your performance isn't what it should be, maybe you should try Kaisertrex. That's right. You train hard, you show up, but lately something feels a little off. Fatigue lingers, recovery takes longer, and your performance isn't where it used to be, Jack Leiter. These might be signs of low testosterone, a condition affecting about 30% of adult men in America, and Kaisertrex is an FDA-approved testosterone replacement therapy designed for men like you, Jack. It's not an injection, it's not a gel, it's a twice-daily pill that fits seamlessly into your active lifestyle of being good for a couple starts in a row and then reminding everybody of who you are, helping restore your testosterone to optimal levels. That's what Kaisertrex is all about. And you want to know your T-score, you get tested right now by visiting Kaisertrex.com/testing kit. That's KYZATREX.com/testing kit. By prescription only. Kaisertrex is a controlled substance that can be a target of abuse. Don't abuse it. Kaisertrex is not for use in pregnant women or men with prostate or breast cancer. Safety and efficacy in those younger than 18 is not known. Tell your doctor about all medical conditions and medications you're on. Serious side effects could include increased blood pressure, worsening prostate symptoms, increased risk of prostate cancer, Blood clots in the legs or lungs, decreased sperm count, liver problems, enlarged or painful breasts, and breathing problems while you sleep. Common side effects and cause maybe giving up 4 walks in 4 innings in a start against the Twins. Swelling of the ankles, feet, or body, increased red blood cell count, increased in prostate PSA, prostate-specific antigen levels. PSA is a test used to detect prostate cancer. Report these symptoms immediately to your doctor. Call your doctor to learn more about Kaisertrex. For questions and more information, visit Kaisertrex.com or 1-833-949-5040. That's the number to call. Okay, let's move on. I love you, Welsh. Do you still love me?
Yeah, I mean, you're not offending me. Don't worry. You're not offending me with your Jack Leiter take. I'm good.
It's not a take. It's just facts. Let's get to the next one here. Chris Bubic, facts. Eventually, this was going to come down to, to a halting, screeching halt at some point here. Bubic gave up 5 runs against the Yankees, 4 1/3. Judge homered again, 3rd straight day of a home run for him. Clark Schmidt was terrific, struck out 7 guys, 6 scoreless innings. So, Bubic, after this start, do you think there's some water here that is a little kind of murky where the people who have Bubic all this time, he has the one start that isn't great, where they start to go, okay, maybe I should get out? And would you be buying or selling him or holding him even better?
I feel like how you're talking about him. I think I might be like a buy. I think I might be a buy or like a hold. What is it?
It said Welsh's first day back feels like a root canal.
I'm listening to you.
He's like, where's that dentist chair? I can't stand this piece.
Wish I could go back. It is like pulling teeth with me sometimes. This is like his only bad. Well, I mean, if a guy gives up 4 runs to you, that's a bad start. So I guess he's had a couple bad starts this year. But Bubic,
what's the ERA when you give up 4 runs in 4 innings, Welsh?
I mean, I don't care, but his 1.92 ERA this year is an expected 2.99. So Bubic is still under 3. Strikeouts have been good. Pitch types too, like expected batting average on 4 seams and sweepers. It's all still really low. So like, I'm pretty encouraged with where he's at. And if you want to talk about run values, by the way, 4 of 5 pitches that Bubic is throwing has a positive run value, and they're all 3 or higher. That is actually wildly crazy good. And those are the 4 top pitch types that he throws. So I think it's a buying opportunity, or it's just like a straight hold with Bubic. It's just one bad start. I do think he's going to, I actually think he's going to come back down to earth more at the end of the year and be like a low 3s guy. So there might be a couple bad starts in there. I just don't think you need to move on, because he's really maintaining like good contact against from pitchers. Yeah. Strikeouts are solid. Like I'm still here for the Bubic.
I would buy or hold. Walker Buehler, 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. So Walker Buehler with a good start, Lucas Giolito with a good start, back-to-back days. We're living in the upside down. Who would you rather have rest of season, Walker Buehler or Lucas Giolito? Who do you trust?
Buehler.
Money, hubba. Who do you trust?
Do not trust. Yeah. Who do you? I do not trust Giolito. It's funny because I was just doing like, we're doing this whole the rest of season ranks we have on FantasyPros. They also help Power Tools. We're always kind of going in. And I was looking and I was just like, Giolito doesn't even belong on this list. Like, he needs to go completely away. I have no trust in Giolito anymore. I'm done.
Fair enough. I want to shout out somebody who just resubbed, Jay Chow 73. Thank you for resubbing with Prime. Make sure you do the same if you're watching today. Ben Casparius. I want to talk about Ben Casparius for a moment.
Yes.
Tough start yesterday for him, matchup-wise, against the Padres. Padres always very stressful, right? 4 innings. They're stretching him out of the bullpen. 1-run ball. He has a 2.86 ERA on the year, 46 strikeouts, just 9 walks in 44 innings. Yesterday, the manager, Robert, said that they're going to try to extend him out and make him a starting pitcher. That seems to be their plan, which tells you a couple things about their concerns about Glasnow and Snell, for sure. Casparius is interesting because he's been very good. He qualifies at RP. This is what used to happen back in the day. Johan Santana was once upon a time a relief pitcher. People forget that, who eventually got stretched out in season as a starter and then became one of the best starters in baseball. I'm not saying that's where Casparius is, but in a situation where there's ample opportunity in this rotation to be good, if he takes this ball and runs with it and becomes a decent starter, this could be huge, I think, pickup wise for fantasy. This could be huge in the betting market too. He's plus 1,400 for Rookie of the Year. Augustin Ramirez has come crashing down to earth. So has Drake Baldwin. Matt Shaw's just been mid, basically. So National League Rookie of the Year is wide open as far as I'm concerned. What do you think of Casparius? I know it's kind of a long shot, dark horse, but I'm kind of intrigued, and in deeper leagues, I'd be picking him up.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were asking me for a minute, like in the rookie of the year market. No interest.
Well, that too.
In
Any of
betting
it.
in
Any of it. I
Nope.
want all of the Welsh I can handle.
Yeah, zero interest in the betting market, 100% interest in the fantasy market. I'm trying to remember what the context was. I feel like I was saying it the other day that it's like the Dodgers could do ... because Ben Casparius is somebody that they could end up putting into the rotation. And then they're starting to do that. He has 3 pitches that have a 30% or higher K percentage. Crazy. Same thing on the whiff percentages. The fastball is probably not something that, like 30% K percentage on fastballs are not probably something that hold, but the other pitches are still there. And check out this on his stuff plus numbers. 120 stuff plus, overall stuff plus, which is crazy. 106 location, which is crazy. His slider has a 137 stuff plus. That is wildly high. I'm not looking at a leaderboard, but that's going to be up there. His cutter is a 110. His curve is a 119. That's 3 pitches of 110 or higher. That's insanely good. Insanely good. So the key is going to be that they can keep him in the rotation. They can have him go deep. The stuff is great for strikeouts. The fastball will probably have to pare down a little bit when you come off of relief. So, like, is he going to set everything up really well? Either way, it has the feels of like a Michael King going from relief into being a starter because Bears has got a big sweeper. The cutter helps set up the fastball. I'm totally here for this. I love that they're actually doing it. I hope they commit to it. They probably should. And I'm going to spot start him, and I'm going to pick him up in case he stays in here. So yeah, it's very good insight on you to put him on here because this is one of those sneaky ones where it's like, he's kind of maybe moving into this starting role. And then they just said, like, what was it, 2 days ago, that his next game will be a start. And he has a legit chance to kind of stay into that rotation. So but you gotta be careful though, too, because the Dodgers and stuff plus guys, remember Bobby Miller's like, oh, there's 3 pitches that are 130 plus and he's got great stuff. And then just
injuries
every time
also
he's
killed
out.
Bobby Miller too. I mean, injuries, health was the big problem for him also. He's just never been the same confidence wise too since those health issues, but
he's a
good conversation for sure. Ronald Acuna, 3 for 5 yesterday. His 6th homer. Jose Ramirez reached his 20th stolen base of the year already. God, what a monster that guy is. Joe Adell, also 13th homer, and Welsh, of course, as soon as he hit it, from the dentist chair, I believe, Welsh texted me a tweet with a video of it.
I actually think I did from the dentist because they made me wait forever, making celebrities wait. It's ridiculous. And then I saw it. And then we had done the video. If people haven't checked it out on the waivers, and I made Joe add Joe Adell so we could talk about him. And then he hits the homer. I immediately sent it to Joe, and then Joe just sent back, and he's just like, "Don't buy it," or whatever you said.
Still not buying it. Go watch the waiver wire video. I've seen this show before. I've seen the rerun. I'm not into it. Van Rod, would you take Jay Lee and McCullers for PCA? No, I want PCA in that deal.
Absolutely not.
This is not even close.
Absolutely not.
Universe. McCullers or Casparius rest of season. That's an interesting one.
Ooh. I'm going to say
McCullers already has the gig, so
yeah,
he has the lean. But in 2 weeks, ask again later. I want to shake that magic 8 ball.
Well said. Yeah, I think Casparius could be one of those dudes that like in 3 weeks he could end up being like a top 50 starter. Do you have a magic 8 ball?
I do. It's in my kids do in their room. I got to bring that.
Oh,
we should do a segment with it next week. Next week we'll do a segment with it. Rookie Lookie, Marcelo Mayer, 2 for 4 with 2 solo homers. Good for him. Today's Jacob Mizorowski day. Rejoice. Joe Orrico and I were playing a little game yesterday on the live stream, in case you missed it. First of all, somebody said that he looks like a fantasy baseball Mitch Hedberg, and I laughed so hard I almost fell out of my chair.
Yeah, he does with the hair.
And then we started doing fantasy baseball or baseball-related Mitch Hedberg jokes, and people were just, go read the log. It is hilarious. Even after the show, people were putting them in. So good. The comments.
No, I like that. I immediately went to the Mitch Hedberg, and it would just be like, I told you to draft, Ronald Acuna. I don't need receipts. It'd be like the receipt joke.
But they were all like, bullpens would be more interesting if there was actually bulls coming out of them, or like things like the classic Mitch Hedbergism dad joke kind of things. But
the donut one is that's the only one that sticks out of my mind immediately. Like, we did not need receipt for this type of transaction. But a wild drug addict, unfortunately, for Mitch Hedberg.
Unfortunately. There was a point to what I was saying, though. Jacob Mizorowski predicting his line today. I think we landed on something like 4 2/3, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, 3 runs. That's what we landed on. What do you think?
Say it again. I say 4 2/3.
4 2/3, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, 3 earned runs. I'm gonna say he leaves with men on base and somebody allows them to come in. That's how.
I'm gonna go 4, strikes out 7, gives up 2 earned runs and walks 2.
Okay. Seth, our producer, had one from yesterday too. It was funny. The starting pitcher only lasted an inning, so he ordered another one immediately.
That's pretty good, Mitch Hedberg.
Seth was crushing it. Seth had a lot of good ones. So that's a funny group around here.
But Mitch Hedberg, unfortunately, when I was younger, I thought like, oh, this is really funny. And then as you get older, it was one of those things where I was like, he's really actually not that. He wasn't. He was good. Like the one-liners were okay.
The vibe at the time. It was the one-liner. It was more the mystique of the character than anything, you know. And again, when people die young, they become these, you know. Nirvana was not my favorite Seattle band. Okay, like Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, I would all put above them collectively. This is just my opinion. But Kurt Cobain died. He became this, you know, mammoth thing. And not that Nirvana wasn't a mammoth thing, but it certainly added to the legend.
That's how my uncle, they like, he was a musician and had a band, you know, record label and all that. And I remember he chastising me about that with what is it, Jim Morrison with the Doors. And it was because like the movie came out and Val Kilmer and it was like, oh, this is really great and the Doors are interesting. And he's just like, Jim Morrison, dirtbag. And just like,
I was gonna say, I always thought the Doors were overrated too. I never liked them.
Yeah, so that's the same vibes.
The Doors were never it for me. I hate the organ. Bubba Chandler, 1 run, no hits, 4 walks. The walks are becoming a bit of an issue lately for Bubba Chandler. Do you think he's pouting, or do you think there's something really just off with him right now? Because it's not just one start. It's been a couple in a row now where the walks are becoming an issue.
Oh, it's been a thing all year long. He is a big fastball slider guy. He's kind of mixed around with some of the other usages, but it's heavy there. So I'm a little bit worried. You got to wonder, is this why they've held him down outside of just like pure manipulation? I'm not 100% sure, but it keeps creeping its head. You would love to see him rattle off like 3 or 4 starts where it's not. But the interesting thing is when you look at the top scope of like pitchers in the minor leagues, 2 of the top 3, I would say, that are viable right now have walk issues. Mizorowski has walk issues. He's cut it dramatically, but there are still some serious walk issues that are prevalent with him. Same thing with Bubba Chandler. Andrew Painter's the only one that doesn't. And, Painter might end up being like the best pitching prospect in baseball, but I'm a little bit worried about it, but God knows, the bet right now is who's up first, Brandon Woodruff or Bubba Chandler. God knows. We don't.
Well, you said Brandon Woodruff. Now I should do Dark Joe, but I've already done it once. I'm not going to beat the bunny around too bad. Fun facts. Now, for TV, I always put together this segment this time of year on Sundays called Splitsville because there's enough data to really do it. Ben Brown yesterday was tagged for 6 runs and 4 2/3, but I want to throw a caveat in there. So let's start with Ben Brown because I want to look at these. Look at these stats in these splits. Day games this year, 6 day games, 7.67 ERA, a 1.74 whip in day games. In night games, 7 games for Ben Brown, a 3.68 ERA, a 1.20 whip. You want to talk about Jekyll and Hyde? I don't know what he's doing at night or after the games. But
he's a vampire. He's a night walker.
That's what I said. He's a
freaking night walker.
He's absolutely a vampire.
I got his nickname. We'll call him Blade. Well, I guess that would be Daywalker because he's a daywalker, so that wouldn't really work. But he is a Dracula.
He's a vampire. Here. Ben Brown the vampire.
Yeah, he 3.6. That is I was telling you, this is the only one I know of these splits because you mentioned it, and I was like, this is weird. Like day-night splits are the weirdest to me of all, and it's like, there's some weird shading sometimes, and on day games and stuff, and you could have like 3 or 4 innings where it's like it's really tough on hitters or pitchers. Like maybe that's some of it, but I don't understand this. But he is 100% He's a vampire. He's not a day walker.
He's absolutely. It's funny because, and he pitches for the Cubs, which is exasperating because they play so many more day games in Chicago still than any other team. Like they're just historically known for the day games. It's what Cubs do. And it used to, I talked about this in the live stream yesterday. It used to keep free agents from signing with them because back in the 80s and 70s, guys used to party after the games and they did not want to get up and play those day games for the Cubs. And it legitimately was something where the agents were, telling the team, no, my player doesn't want to sign there because of that. And I remember some guys used to have problems in day games. I remember Dwight Gooden historically in the late 80s had problems with day games. Now we know why. We have a little bit more data there.
I want to throw a strike.
But seriously, a 7. So if you have Ben Brown, don't start him in the day. Let's get to another slide here. What do we have next? Splitsville. Shane Baz, another day game menace. 10 ERA, 10.20 in 3 day games, a 2.13 whip. At night, 10 games, 3.56 ERA, 1.13. Shane Baz.
Why do they hate the sun?
It's like, what is that interview with a vampire? Tom Cruise is Ben Brown because he's the worst of them, and Shane Baz is like the Brad Pitt. He's like he's like understudy. He's the up and coming vampire.
Should probably use a more modern reference to, but yeah, that's fine.
I mean, what we do in the shadows is amazing, but nobody knows. Shane Baz is Guillermo.
What's the one that all the the teeny bop drama vampire one?
Oh, the Vampire Chronicles or something like that. Is that what it's called?
No, the one with people know Twilight.
Not Twilight. Yeah. That's 20 years old too.
Yeah. Is it really?
Twilight was in the early 2000s, I want to say. Vampire Diaries. Thank you.
Well, I would use From Dusk Till Dawn, but we can't use all.
That's also 30 years old.
That is very old, but it's very good. We need some new vampire movies.
Buffy's old too, guys. They're all old.
What's the new vampire thing? I think Sinners.
The Vampire Diaries is the newest, but that's also kind of old.
True Blood. Okay, for a couple seasons.
True Blood also 15
until
years
they
old.
became and they just there's little pixies and all that stuff.
All right, let's do another one here. Another Splitsville. Let's take a look. Jesus Luzardo before yesterday's start versus lefties, killing them. 200 batting average against, 479 OPS. Versus right-handers this year, a 309 batting average against, an 828 OPS. I found this stat a little troubling, despite the fact he was so good yesterday. This is one to me that when you look at the split, you go, that just gives me pause a little bit about the success Luzardo has had this year, because you can't be that bad against right-handed pitching and sustain a really high level of productivity over 30 starts, in my opinion. Welsh, what do you think of these splits?
Well, that was the biggest worry with Brandon Pfaadt. Brandon Pfaadt could not get out left-handed pitchers or left-handed hitters because he wasn't comfortable throwing the sweeper, and that was why he tried to implement more of a sinker. And I think you've got something let me pull this back up, something relatively similar here, because Luzardo is predominantly four-seam, but then he's going to go to the sweeper, which is his best pitch. But when you're going up against, what the hell is it, against right-handed hitters, he's going to probably throw that sweeper a lot less. And then that's going to be sinker changeups. I think he just has less strikeout potential, probably pitching to a lot more contact. So that's definitely something that's floating out there. That's usually, these type of splits are usually about pitch repertoire. And that's what Brandon Pfaadt was struggling with.
Let's throw up another split. I think we got 2 more here. Milwaukee Brewers. Do we have 2 or 1, Callie? How many more do we have? I can't remember. I'm old. Milwaukee Brewers, home team ERA. I think this is the last one. 3.27 ERA, a 1.17 whip at home. On the road, the Brewers pitchers are not getting the job done. A 4.39 ERA, a 1.45 whip. I thought this was also a very interesting stat in terms of wagering, in terms of fantasy productivity too, that, at home where you think, Brewers at home, it's a home run friendly ballpark, but they've been better there than on the road.
Dry counties they're going to, that apparently is affecting some things here. I want to look here. Overall ballpark factor. Where do you think the Brewers are?
In terms of what, run production?
We're looking at StatCast ballpark. We're gonna look. It's just overall ballpark factor. Is it more of a hitter friendly or pitcher friendly environment?
I'm gonna say from these stats, pitcher friendly, but I've never known it to be that.
They are, because this is looking at offense. They're the 3rd worst offensive environment at home, which is weird. They are 96. They're 26 overall. Only the Cubs and Mariners have a worse overall ballpark factor for hitters, which is pretty crazy. Yet offensively, they're doing their work there and they're struggling on the road. So there's another little weird added split, is the ballpark. I guess that actually speaks to it. I'm sorry, because it's a 3.27 ERA at home. And for hitters, it's the 3rd worst hitting environment out there. So it has somehow become just this really great spot. And I would not have guessed that. I would have been top 15 hitter friendly environment instead of being 3rd worst hitter friendly environment. And that speaks to your home road splits a little bit.
All right, let's run through some ups and downs. Byron Buxton, 3 for 3, 3-run homer, a double walk, a steal. Brandon Nimmo, 2 solo shots for him. Brendan Rooker, 4 for 5 with 2 homers. The downs, Nick Lodolo, just 3 1/3 innings, gave up 6 runs Wednesday. Liberatore, good news is after a little bit of a break, the velocity was back. Bad news is the results weren't there. 5 runs, 3 earned. Bryan Wu, in a rare bad start, gave up 5 runs. And just as a honorable mention, Lars Nootbaar, 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. He missed the Cinco Stinko, so you let us down. Kind of upsetting.
When's the last Stinko we had?
I feel like right after we got one, and we haven't had one since.
Yeah,
not one that I found.
We need one bad.
I'm sure somebody would have let us know if we missed a Cinco Stinko. Royals put Cole Reagans on the 15-day IL. Not good. Retroactive to the 8th with a left rotator cuff strain. This is a big problem here for the Royals. Big problem for fantasy managers. Do we see Cole Reagans again in 2025? Welsh.
Yes. Yeah, I think we do.
You do. Okay. All right.
But it's not good. 2 IL stints like practically back to back. This might be something where you let him sit until All-Star break, unless it's even worse or whatever. But this, I think we will see him. They need to play it a little bit safer, though.
Jackson Jobe goes under the knife, Tommy John surgery, so he's done. A lot of expectations for him. He wasn't great this year, and what a surprise. Another young man cast away to Tommy John surgery. We'll see if they can get his Tommy John right. Speaking of broken pieces in the rotations, Shane McClanahan, triceps, has been shut down from throwing and will visit a nerve specialist this week. I told you. Oh, I felt weird about the way they worded that news on Monday they gave us. Remember the news on Monday? They were like, everything is structurally okay, but we don't have a timetable. Well, why? If everything's okay, why don't we have a timetable? Well, here's why. Because it's really not okay. Because it looks fine, but it doesn't feel fine, and that's a problem. Jazz Chisholm, or are we going to see Shane McClanahan this year, Welsh? I say no. What say you?
No. I firmly would say no.
He is Dunsky. Jazz Chisholm removed yesterday for the groin tightness. Luke Weaver throwing a bullpen session. Giancarlo Stanton, this is my favorite one because you never see this. Elbows, because he's got both elbows. It's the small joys. He was 1 for 4 yesterday in Double A Somerset. Marcus Stroman also pitched in that game. 0 earned runs, 3 1/3. I know the Yankees can't wait to get Stroman back. Stromanaya.
Should have gone and seen them. Isn't Somerset next to you?
Why? I sat and I watched David Peterson throw an incredible a complete game shutout. David Peterson threw an amazing shutout. Sean Manaea make his next rehab start on Sunday. Frankie Montas is going to make one on Friday. Let's get to the best bets
of the day
with Joey P and the Welsh. So yesterday I had a fun bet there with Mr. Leiter. We're going to move on from that, though. Today, Kodai Senga, I'm going to double down on my run lines because they were good yesterday. So let's do it again. Senga at home. Mets are feeling it right now. Give me them on the run line -1.5 at -104. Senga on the mound against the Nats. Let's sweep them Nats. Let's go. Detroit with Skubal on the mound on the run line -1.5 at -111. It's Skubal against the lowly Baltimore Orioles. Skubal's been brilliant, so I'm confident there. And give me the Chicago Cubs on the run line -1.5 at +106 with Tyon against the Pittsburgh Pirate offense that is absolutely abysmal. So run line city today. Mets, Tigers, Cubbies. Let's go. Welsh, what do you have for the people?
I like that I'm Orrico, by the way. It's Joey P and Orrico. So these are not Orrico's bets. Yeah,
there's your J.
Yeah, there's the J. Not Orrico.
He was so attentive because we screwed up some of our bet things, and Callie was so damn attentive about all that he forgot to fix the Orrico thing.
Yeah, well, Orrico, maybe Orrico will like these. We'll find out. Jacob Mizorowski makes his debut today, 4.5 strikeouts. It is tried and true and beautiful. Whenever these rookies come up, you get low K numbers. I think it's a really good advantage, especially if it is a high strikeout guy. That is who Mizorowski is. Command can be issues, but he's cut it by like 2 walks per 9 so far this year. I just love the potential for this because it's going to be high velo. Secondary stuff is nasty. As long as he's not walking a bunch of guys, I think Brendan Donovan might give him some issues, but 4.5 plus on the strikeouts, getting to 5 with plus money is an easy take for me. You talked about the Tigers and Tariq Skubal, some Scooby snacks. I think the Tigers are going to give him going up against Dean Kramer. I love first 5 team total runs. So the Tigers to score 3 runs through the first 5. I'm going to make that bet and Skubal's going to hold it down. And then the Houston Astros run line -1.5. That's so I'd win by 2 runs, a little bit minus money there up against the White Sox. Gimme. Astros, Tigers first 5 team total runs, and Mizorowski on the strikeouts. Those are my best bets.
All right, place your bets over at FanDuel. Remember, fantasypros.com/leading off. Bet $5, get $250 in bonus bets when you win, and download the Betting Pros app. Use the promo code leading off, and you get 7 days of the free trial. Lots of home runs yesterday, none from me. Boo! I went with the wrong man. I went with Lindor. It should have been Soto. So today I'm going to go with Soto for my home run. George still at the top at 30. Wonky still representing at 21. 20 is still how you get on the board. And 21 is the number of the Sammy Sosa jersey that's autographed from Pristine Auction we're giving away. So give me Soto today for the home run call. Welsh, what do you have for the people?
Hey, shout out to George, by the way. First to 30 on there, too.
Very impressive.
That's
30
very, very
by the 15th of June. Very impressive, George.
Yeah,
very nice.
Hand up. That's awesome. I'm going to go with my boy, Kerry Carpenter. Kerry Carpenter against a righty all day, every day. Remember, I had that one where he hit the 3, and I kind of was like, well, maybe I'll go Kerry Carpenter. I went away. I instantly went to Kerry Carpenter today. I'm not going to second guess it. So give me Kerry Carpenter. Hopefully, and maybe his hit can get those team total runs through the first 5 for the Tigers. So that's where I'm going.
Everyone's getting real mouthy about Michael Harris because he hit a home run yesterday. Go ahead. You want me to lighter him tomorrow? Wait for the Michael Harris bet.
Ooh, what are you going to bet? He's not going to hit a home run tomorrow? What are you going to bet?
I'll bet his over on, stolen base. Not stolen, or you have to get on base to steal a base. I'll bet the over on his total bases or something like that. Be fantastic. But you'll have to tune in tomorrow for that. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Bye.
I want to strike out your pitcher.
Nebo babies, we make your dreams come true. Nebo babies make starts for the Texas Rangers too. Do.